Oh hey, my name is the Great Giuseppe and welcome to our playthrough of Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. I'm very excited to be playing this game. It's going to be a little bit different than what we're going to be doing with our Super Mario Odyssey playthrough. And if you want to take a look at that, you can see that up in the top right hand corner. Put a little card up there for you. We're going to be playing through this game, and we're going to be playing all of the characters in the tournament mode and unlocking all the tracks and the racers by buying the best part. The little difference that's going to be different between our Odyssey playthrough and this playthrough is that I've played through this one a few times, so this is going to serve as a guide for players that have not played before. And for some reason, there's like a glitch where you can't see that it's empty there. I tried doing a little bit of a recording for this earlier, and it accidentally messed up. So I had to restart from the beginning, but we're going to go ahead and put our name in here as TGJ. That is the Great Giuseppe. Thank you very much. And we'll enter that in there, and hopefully if I go back here, it doesn't actually show up. So I'll just put it into a different slot. For some reason that's a little weird. If you erase your save data, there seems to be a little bit of a glitch there. I didn't really get too far, everything was okay. So we're going to play through each one of the characters, and like I said, we're going to be designing the best setup that we can have. So I'll teach you a little bit of how to play this game and how you want to be doing it when it comes to speedrunning. There's 3 different categories. We have the amateur pod racing circuit, semi-pro pod racing circuit, and a galactic pod racing circuit, along with a 4th one that'll unlock as we continue to play through the game as well. I think the first thing that I want to do is first make sure that this is on winner takes all, because we're going to be trying to win as many races as possible, and there's really no reason for us to get 3rd or 4th. I mean, it allows us to progress forward in the game, but we're going to be racing much faster than the CPU. Another thing that I want to do is I want to change the music volume so that I don't get copyright strikes or anything. And the first thing that we're going to be looking to do is buying a pit droid. We start off with 400 Trugits, and we will be trying to buy these pit droids as we continue to go on. I'll kind of explain our strategy as we go along with the races. I'll kind of talk over the top of this too, because I don't want to have any copyright strikes. They took music directly from the first Star Wars movie. John Williams is a fantastic musical composer, as everyone pretty much knows these songs. I didn't get a chance to show you the controls for it, but if you have the game, and I'm playing it on Switch actually, it's available on PS4 as well, and it is also available on PC, N64. It's a game that's been out for a very long time. It came out in 1999. If you look at our player models, kind of show our player's model is kind of not up to date with the 2020 area that I'm playing this in. So the first thing that you'll notice is that the game doesn't tell you too much about how to do boosting. It does if not the initial boost is what I'm talking about, but if you hold forward on the analog stick, and whoa, watch what I'm doing here, and press the A button, as the 1 disappears, you can actually get a little bit of a turbo boost right off the start of the line, which makes it so that we don't really have to worry about acceleration just as long as we don't crash. There's also the boost feature where, as well, if you continue to hold forward on the analog stick, you can boost as long as that green button is there, and it'll change red. And if we go past it, our engine will overheat and it will turn on fire. And if we don't use the repair button, we got ourselves a new lap record. It will burst into flames with the 90s flame colors that they had at the time, and will not allow you to boost anymore. And you'll have to repair your engine, otherwise it will be exploded. It's pretty much common knowledge, but there's a few other things that we'll talk about as the game goes along. This is a very easy race. It's very short. Actually, racing at this speed is very slow in comparison to what we're going to be racing at later on in this series. Sorry, I'm actually kind of calm right now. I just woke up. I tried to record this yesterday and it didn't work out too well. But we're here now, and we're going to keep going. You'll find that I turn my engine my pod racer sideways quite often, because it's a little bit easier to dodge things because they're not as wide. Anakin doesn't really seem to care too much. But that's what we're gonna be doing. So I guess while we're doing this, I do have a question of the video. I like to do questions of the video to keep interest and to see just how the viewer base is doing. I'm not a statistician. In fact, I don't really like statistics that much, but if I look at my notes over here while I'm driving, it's not a great idea. Whoa, okay. let me get out of this tunnel here first before I look at it again. Oh, this is the third lap. Okay, well, I'll kind of explain a few other mechanics as we go along here. So on the straightaway while we're boosting, what is your favorite, as I run into the rock there, what is your favorite Star Wars film? I think probably mine right now is the third one, just because of the prequel memes. There's a prequel memes subreddit that's actually it's really, really funny. So we got our 2,200 trinkets, and normally what I would say is that we would want to go ahead and buy our pit droids, but actually we're going to go to the junkyard here, and we're going to be looking for the most expensive parts that we can buy in this particular setup. You see how on the left it has the orange? That is, it's worn out, so it won't give you its full benefit that you're looking for on the air brake. It can be repaired and can be put up to a higher level of durability and usage. But if we buy things in the junkyard and we use our pit droids, if I go back over here to the vehicle upgrades, we only have one pit droid right now. Our pit droids will repair one of the particular things that we have, as long as it's an upgrade. So the idea that we're going to be doing here is that as long as we keep everything else basic and one item an upgrade, we can buy it from the junkyard, repair it, and then sell it back to Watto after each race that we complete, and thus get a boatload more of money, a large amount, a bunch of extra, a pod racer full of money to use to buy more junkyard parts, and then have our pit droids upgrade those, and we can get pretty much the best stuff in the game for a ridiculously cheap price. And in fact, it's actually kind of nice here. We have some of the best ones that we can get at a pretty low amount of money. The only problem is I don't have enough red at this point, so we might just end up getting this control nozzle. The control nozzle, I don't know exactly how much it sells for, but the four most expensive items in this game are speed, which is 20,000 credits at its maximum price. Acceleration, which is 14,000. Air brake is 14,000, and then turning is 7,500. The other ones are like 6,000, 5,000. They're not really too expensive, so you can actually buy those completely outright. I meant to say trinkets here, but credits will do fine.
No, they won't!
So with this, I think we should go with the control nozzle, unless there's something else that's a little bit more expensive off to the side here. I mean, you can already see that the price of this is what we do in this game is we trade our original piece for the new piece, and it gives us a little bit of a discount on. I mean, we don't need the plug 2 anymore after we buy a plug 8. Pretty obvious. So this will increase our top speed, but it's like the third best one, but we can't afford it. So we're gonna have to, and this is another one of the best pieces in the game, and actually we might end up doing this one, but I think this is only worth 4,000 at its full price. We might actually be able to do both of them, so this is 4,000. Well, we can't do both of them because we need to. Shut up, Anakin. I think we'll do the control nozzle because we actually got a pretty good amount of pretty good rolls here. In the junkyard, you can get any. You can get. Stop it, Anakin. You can get any part in the junkyard that you want to, and if you want to just re-roll it, all you have to do is just go back to the racer select screen, choose the character again, go back into the race, and then go down to the junkyard, and you'll have all new items. And so this is the 100 repulsor chip, and I would buy this one, but we don't have enough money, and it looks like my trinkets are actually glitched out there, going through the floor. The quad 32 is acceleration piece. It's way more expensive. So if we go back to our vehicle upgrades, we only have one pit droid, so that means I can only repair one part. And if the pit droids were less expensive, I would say let's, purchase another one. But right now, I guess we could purchase another one, but I want to save more credits so that we can buy a more expensive piece. You sell more expensive pieces there. I want to buy a more expensive piece and sell those off, and then once we use those, then we can buy the rest of the pit droids for an exceedingly less amount of money, and use those 4 pit droids to upgrade 4 of the best parts in the game that we wouldn't actually be able to get until the next round. Whatever circuit it is. I can't remember the other circuit. The semi-pro circuit. We wouldn't be able to get those maximum pieces until we go to the semi-pro circuit. Don't quote me on that, I'm not exactly sure. But we can get all of them by race 7. We should have the 4 upgraded pieces that we can. And let's go ahead and do another race. We'll swap up our racer here. We'll play as Ebby Edenok. I think that's how you say his name. And we are off to the spice mines. It's pretty cool. It's almost look like Mars.
The Spice Mine, second only to Kessel in spice production.
It's kind of crazy with it.
Yes, not to mention all that.
The animations and everything. The frame rate on the videos is, I think, is at 24 because they wanted to get more pixels on it or something. Maybe not pixels, but design or something. And then there's a glitch there too. You can definitely tell it's ported. It's still very, very fun though, and you don't notice during the races. There we go, we got the boost again. Now it didn't show the cutscene for it, which is kind of curious. Sometimes it shows the cutscene for what you're doing, what racer you're going to be versing in each one of these races. This time it didn't. First time I recorded it actually did. So I'm not too sure, but we don't really care about what we're saying to the other players. We just want to race, beat them. So the next thing I'll kind of show you in this is that, we got a 23 lap time. That's very slow. We're probably getting like 14 seconds later on. We're actually passing 12th place here. If you hold the slide button, you will. It's almost like drifting in Mario Kart or other games. Can't really see it too well here because his drift is actually pretty good. But we actually probably don't want to upgrade our traction too much because we want to be able to slide and do hairpins a little bit easier, and it'll actually influence the way that we boost. We can actually boost and slide a little bit longer than we can slide a farther distance, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to see, and you actually can play the entire game. I played through the first time without even noticing it. That's the end of that race. I played through the game without even knowing how to use the slide mechanic because I thought traction was more important than than actually just not having traction and using the slide mechanic. Because turning is the only thing that actually influences how you're I don't want to say this. Turning is the only thing that makes it so that you turn sharper. The traction makes it so that if you hold the slide mechanic, you have more traction. The really only way to do it is to more or less show you. So here we go. We got the Quadrat Air Brake, and it's worth 6,000. I wish I had enough to buy that because that is worth 14,000. As I bash my desk, it's worth 14,000, and we could pretty much buy the rest of the parts that we need for the game. Can't afford it just yet. We're gonna be looking for some other parts. I might have to do a few re-rolling to see if we can get some other good stuff. But you see, this is the control coupling. This is the one that we had actually beforehand. And I didn't know it had that other part to it. It was actually through the floor. But see, we actually get negative 2,777 trinkets back for buying the worst piece. So we can use that to buy other things. And I might actually end up doing that because this is I guess it's not really the worst one. Otherwise, I don't know why it would sell the worst one in the junkyard. Wouldn't make much sense to do that. The coolant pump only sells for 5,000, so we're probably not going to go for that one. We're going to see if we can find a better one. I might re-roll a few times here to see if we can get something good. This is 5,000. Pretty close, but not close enough. I think I'm going to re-roll again, and I might end up cutting out quite a bit of this until we find something that we're looking for. I'll be back in just a second. Just want to point out that I've gotten 3 quadrajet air brakes in a row, and I can't afford them. So here's a Blocks 5 thruster coil, but we still can't afford it. Alright, so here we go. This is the Plug 5 thruster coil, which if you can buy speed items, they are the most expensive, and so they will probably resell for the most. So it's 2,600. It's pretty good. It's only going to be 1,600 for us to buy it, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that one up. And while we're at it, we might as well... I think we'll just hold off on the pit droids for a second. Yeah, I'm going to see if we can get a little bit higher of expensive so we can move into the next tier, and then we'll end up picking up some of the pit droids later. They're only 1,000 apiece, so it's not really too hard. Now if we go over the vehicle upgrades, I didn't show you this before, but that control nozzle that we had before is now back up to... it's back up to full, and so what we want to do is if you click on it, it'll actually take you to Watto's shop, and you'll be able to buy the lowest expensive one. And actually, I don't know why I didn't do that. I should have done this beforehand. We can rebuy the turning one, the lowest turning one, and get our 3,600. Get 3,600 credits back, and just go ahead and pick that up as a purchase price. So now we have this this Plug 5 thruster coil that we're going to repair in the next race. And if we go back to the junkyard here, and I just want to see how many credits we have. We have 5,000 credits instead. So now I should have done this beforehand. I didn't think about this exactly. But I'm going to re-roll again. What the heck? It's the exact same thing. That's weird. I'm going to re-roll again, and I'm going to see if I can trade this Plug 5 coil in for maybe something else that'll allow us to get even more credits, and then use those credits to buy maybe the next thing. Or you could even do pit droids and find some of the smaller items and then just replace all 4 of those each race, because you can replace up to 4 each race. So I will be back again and see if I can find something else that's a little bit better. Alright, so we're back. This is the turbo coolant pump. This is the best coolant pump in the game, and it only does sell for 5,000 or 6,000. I can't remember exactly because I didn't write it down. It only sells for 5,000 or 6,000, but what we're going to do is we're going to pick that one up. I'm going to go back. I'm going to buy a pit droid. There's multiple ways that you can do this, but I'm going to go ahead and buy a pit droid, and then if we go to the vehicle upgrades, we can see that we have 2 different pieces that we're going to sell back and forth after this next race. I'm going to change my vehicle, and we're going to play as Dud Bolt this time. Again, there's a few different ways that you could do it. You could stick to having one and buying the most expensive piece and then selling that back and then buying your pit droids afterwards. I find that this is another way to do this. Realistically, your goal is to get, you get to pick, and I'll go back to the change vehicle. You get to pick 4 vehicle statistics that you want to use for the rest of the game, because if you pick a 5th one, the pit droids won't be able to repair it. They will pick, well, they will be able to repair it, but they'll pick 4 of your vehicle parts that they want to fix each race, and then one of them is susceptible to damage. The 5th one, or the 6th one, or the 7th one. So if I pick traction, turning, accelerate, and top speed, but then I pick air brake is susceptible to damage, and the pit droids will have to repair that one, and then traction may go out. So in order to have the best stats consistently, just only pick 4 parts. So we're going to be looking for traction, top speed, cooling, and maybe turning. Well, maybe not traction. Let's race, and we will decide, because I'm still on the fence about traction.
Welcome, pod racing fans, to Ondo Cream, home of the banana.
Because it's like you can use it because it helps it a little bit, but if you know how to just have no traction, just slide everywhere, It's like driving on ice. It's a little bit confusing between having traction and no traction because it's all up to you on how you want to play. I've been recently learning to have no traction so that I can slide farther. So this is our third race. It's on Ondo Prime. It's a little bit longer of a race for once. You'll see that there's some pretty cool tricks that we can do. But the next thing that we definitely want to be having is cooling upgrades, and I think we just bought one. So we have the turbo coolant pump, and you'll notice that immediately having the turbo coolant pump is a good thing, so I almost slide into the boulder. Is an enormously immense thing because it'll allow us to boost way more often than if we didn't have it before. I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna die. Oh, it's so much easier when you're not going fast. I'm gonna try to drive this race just normal, so you can see what's going on, and I might try a little bit of some of the shortcuts in the next couple of laps, so I can show you a little bit of each one of the directions that we will go. So there's 3 ways to go here. We can go left, right, center. We'll go center first, then we'll go right, then we'll go the fastest on the last lap. We'll kind of drive our way through. There's a couple different ways that you can go in this game. I'll go left this time. I feel like I'm driving so very slow, but it's no matter. So there's me using the drift mechanic there. I turned off my my engines, slid a little bit, and then I turned my vehicle sideways a little bit and boosted it in the direction that I wanted to go. So here's another direction that we can go. It's kind of just a tutorial at this point. Turn sideways in here. Nice little turn. Another turn. Making it through. Pretty much a piece of cake. Let go. Use my drifting mechanic. And then pull back. Don't hit the wall all the time. And as we get more turning, by turning upgrades, that turn will become a little bit more easier. I love to boost off of this thing. And then if you hold back, you can actually fly a little bit longer, which is kind of nice, because you'll want to use that. The only time your boost turns off is if you hit a jump that's far enough off the ground. If we go up in the air and we land on something, the boost will turn off, and we don't want that. We want to be boosting the entire time. Don't boost over here, because if you actually hit dirt, it's weird. I know I'm floating across the ground. If you hit dirt, you'll actually slow down. Funny. So it's kind of interesting to see that. Alright, now we're going to do the fastest lap that we can possibly do. Boost, go in, take the shortcut, hit the wall, because I didn't practice enough. Boost down this way. I turn myself sideways so I don't end up hitting the wall. There's ice on the ground. It's a little bit slippery. Taking the left, ride the wall, take the high ground, let off, do the inside, boost action, pull back, let off the air brake. On the air. I'm used to going faster there, I promise. I boost as often as possible. Pull back. And then if you go off this side, you can actually boost continuously and not have to worry about going off the first ramp and losing your boost. We'll go left here. The strategy is to hit this wall and go up it so that you don't stay on the dirt as long. But I'm not too good with our repair tool. Isn't the greatest right now. I'm going to boost sideways, go up this wall, hit the... My bad. You're supposed to go in between them. And I might have to show you that at a different race, because I am used to racing a little bit faster. But we're destroying the competition right now, so it doesn't even matter. Oh, that wasn't too bad. And we got ourselves a new racer again. Oh, this guy's great. He's really fast. Not the fastest, but very fast. And we destroyed the competition by like a good 15 seconds. So, well, maybe not 15 seconds. It's more like 11. Yeah, it's more like 11. So we got more Trugans. We'll go ahead and take a look at the Junkyard again. and see if we can find another upgrade right after we sell our upgrades to Watto. So we'll go back to buy our vehicle upgrade screen. We did our block 5 thruster coil, which actually wouldn't be too bad to keep, but we want to get as many credits as possible so that we can buy the best items and find them in the junkyard. So we will buy that one, and then if we go back, we'll sell our turbo coolant pump as well, which would trade it for, you know, 5,400. It's pretty dang good. So now if we go back to the junkyard, you can see that if we go over here, we can look at the, there's always one of each part. So here, look, we got the block 5 thruster coil right here, and it's 13,863. It's in too good of a condition for me, so I would actually re-roll for this. But we actually have enough to be actually buying this top speed component that we'll be using. And so I'm going to re-roll until I get some about the 4 best parts that we want, and then I'll come back in a second and show you what exactly that we got. So I think at this rate, because we have so much money, we might as well go ahead and buy the rest of the pit droids that we're going to be using, and then we will go ahead and go to the junkyard and look and see if we can find some really good nice stuff that we can sell back and forth between Watto. Alright, and we're back. So I ended up finding 4 pieces that we can use to be repaired in the next race. Every time you do a race for the first time, you will get your pieces repaired back up to the full. I think I've said that before, but I want to make sure I said it again. These 4 pieces will be repaired back up to the highest, and these ones will be unaffected because they are the lowest. And so we have all 4 of our pit droids. I actually only had enough money to do the quad power cell, which is the least expensive, but that's fine because we got the 2nd highest air brake, the 3rd highest thruster coil, and one of the highest control stabilizers, which will help with our turning. And I mean, these will help in our racing in the first place, so that's kind of a nice thing. But I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here and kind of end it off because I'm not exactly sure how long it is, and I don't want it to be too crazy long. In the next race, we're going to be doing an Aqualaris Classic, and we'll get the rest of the things repaired, and that's pretty much all you have to do. After that, once you have enough trinkets, you can go ahead and just go to the junkyard and re-roll until you have the best ones: the Block 6, the Mag 6 injector, the Quadrajet air brake, control nozzle turning, I think is what it is. And you can buy those, have it be repaired, and then play the rest of the game, and that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to change it, and that's pretty much all you have to do to play this game. If you want to know from other speedrunning strats and stuff, you can look at some of the other YouTubers that are out there, and if you're really interested, I can make a guide to that as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. So there's 3 things that I forgot to mention. One is, if you have any questions, you can post them down in the comment section below. I'd be happy to explain any other part, but I think I covered it pretty thoroughly. The total time spent for re-rolling each one of these parts was not longer than 5 minutes in total. Getting the speed, acceleration, air brake, turning is not that hard to get, mostly because when you in the junkyard, every part is there. It's just at a certain upgrade level and a certain damage level, and it's just rolled every single time that a new racer is selected. So you just do that over and over until you get the one that you're looking for. And then the last thing is, I usually try to do a word of encouragement to send you on your way and help you have a good day. And this one kind of fits with our speed theme here. It's be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. And that has some great wisdom behind it, that we are quick to listen to other people and to hear what they have to say, and then slow to become angry and just really just think. I don't know, just use your heads. They're there for a reason. And with that, I thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.